Good morning. I'm Lynell Tanigoshi. I'm the small fruit entomologist here at Washington State University at Mount Vernon. And I've been asked a discussion with all of you folks about issues of spotted wing Drosophila and potential for spotted wing Drosophila selecting for resistance to the few chemicals that we have available to control this beast. Generally speaking, in my opinion, the animal is easy to kill with about, you've seen this table, it's online, with about 3 different mode of action chemistries that we have available in our arsenal. We have the organophosphates such as malathion and imidan that are registered here in the United States, at least 4 different pyrethroids, Mustang Max, Brigade, Danitol, Asana, 2 of the spinosins, natural products, Delegate and Entrust, and carbamate, lanate. So you can see we have several modes of action chemistries that I think to prevent resistance, I've said this before and others as well, we need to rotate these different mode of action chemistries that work on different sites in the insect to kill them simply, okay? And we do not want to stimulate resistance or select for it by using the same mode of action chemistry over and over. When I say mode of action chemistry, say pyrethroids, we don't want to use Mustang Max, then next week come up with Brigade, and then Danitol. We want to rotate between, say, malathion 1 week, the next week Mustang Max, and maybe the 3rd week possibly a success or spinosad, okay? And then maybe come back to a imidan, and then come through that series again. So I've talked about 6 different mode of action, well, 3 different mode of action chemicals and 6 different products that would represent 6 weeks. I go back and I say weeks. I think all of us have pretty much feel that we're not on an IPM program, but really we're in a calendar insect resistance management, IRM, okay? And that's kind of the way we're going to have to deal with it, unfortunately, until we get a better handle on how to selectively use these mode of action chemistries maybe in a more, I think, judicious way than we're doing at the moment. But this is a direct pest. You're all afraid of it. It attacks our berries. Once it's in our berries, there's no way we can cure it, okay? Unlike our old friends, the root weevils, the spider mites, the leaf rollers, we can spray for them, and they're not attacking our blueberry or our raspberry like our spotted wing Drosophila is doing, okay? So I think all of us throughout the nation at the moment, we're on a calendar spray, we have to accept it, and I think the successful growers are using these chemistries. You've got them all in your arsenal, probably in your own backyard, to look at the labels and go on a weekly spray program. Please rotate until we get a better handle on that. Again, using an OP like malathion, a pyrethroid, there are about 3 different ones that I think you can select for, and maybe even if you rotate back again to an OP pyrethroid, that's okay, because that could be a total of 4-6 weeks and you're done, especially in raspberries, which is what? About a 5-week crop. So you can see if you go in at berry ripening, you can probably you'll be through in 4 or 5 weeks. So you can be through in about 5 different rotations, okay? Blueberry growers, we're going to get into the mid-season blueberry time. This is where people with the mid-season and especially the late-season blueberries need to be vigilant. As your berries are ripening, as you know, the spotted wing Drosophila goes for ripening fruit. You got to cover those berries and especially the foliage, okay? And again, weekly. And be really, I think, very judicious about it and take it right through the tape or right through the season, okay? I was asked about late season blackberries. As many of you know, the spotted wing Drosophila continues to, it starts about mid-July in red raspberries in this latitude, okay? And as we get through the raspberries, the population builds, and it bridges over into late season blueberries, and then by the time we get to caneberries, you're really into very high populations during about the later part of September, October. You're right in the, you might say, in the peak. And this is the time where I think it behooves you to come in as soon as your blackberries are showing color. You may want to come in with Danitol, which as I mentioned earlier, has about 10 to 14 days of real good field residual on foliage. And I think you need to get good coverage on foliage. I think your machinery needs to be calibrated at this time of the year. Make sure your nozzles are good and you got good coverage, at least maybe 100 gallons per acre to get good distribution of Danitol or Mustang Max or malathion or Imidan. All of these materials are hard hitting. They've got 5 to at least 7 up to 14 days of residual, okay? But look at your label and look at retreatment intervals and certainly your pre-harvest intervals and the like. I think we've talked about that, but I think you'll be satisfied, but you cannot leave any gaps or windows. You need to be on a 5 to 7 day rotation during your fruiting period. I was asked by Talia Price here about cleanup sprays. I think in red raspberries, pretty much, most of the berries are going to drop. But if you feel that you've got some berries still hanging on the vine, and you're concerned that, and if you had a known infestation in your in the latter part of your raspberry harvest, we do have. It would probably be a good idea to use a cleanup such as Brigade, especially if you have blueberries close by or caneberries that may be coming along. Your red raspberries may serve as a reservoir population or a bridging host, I suppose, insectary for the spotted winged Drosophila to bridge over into, especially the mid-season blueberries.